Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria DeVette and today we're going to be looking at the new Natasha Denona retro palette. When I first saw this, it was love at first sight. This is a continuation of the mini retro palette from Natasha Denona. It is a midi sized palette, so it comes with 15 shades and it retails for $65. The description says it features 15 romantic burgundy and mauve shades combined with gray browns, taupes, dusty roses, and vintage pinks. Perfect to create romantic, retro inspired looks. So I love the color story, love the idea behind it. If you follow Natasha Denona on Instagram, you've probably seen some 70s or 80s inspired looks that they've created with this palette, and they're all so beautiful. It got me so excited for it. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the swatches and then we'll get into the look and I will give my thoughts on the palette afterwards. Okay, so let's get started.
At night I feel alive, and all the flashing colors feel inside my mind. I breathe and close my eyes. The music animates me till I'm out of time. A paradise never turns to black and white. Let's make time to I thought I'd feel alive, and all the flashing colors feel inside my mind. I breathe and close my eyes. The music animates me till I'm out of time. A paradise.
Okay, so I'm gonna start off by priming my eyes with the Milani eyeshadow primer. So the first shade I'm going to use is the shade Amara, which is this corner shade here, and it is described as a matte medium cool vintage rosewood. I'm taking that on the fluffy end of an Anastasia Beverly Hills brush. And I'm gonna start by taking this on the outer corner. I'm just starting to smoke it out. Blending up and out. And with a smaller, like more precise blending brush, this one is from Morphe, I'm going to take that same shade on the intersection of my lid. Not quite my inner corner, just keeping it on my lid. Packing it on there and blending towards my brow. Now with a slightly fluffier blending brush, this one is the 237 blending brush from Luxie. I'm going to take the shade Go Go, which is this shade right here. This is described as a matte medium warm rose cream powder. I'm gonna use this to buff out these edges and kind of get a better blend. And I will connect those two sections with this shade just very lightly. Okay, so on my finger, I'm going to take the shade Helio. Helio. It is a metallic taupe nude. I'm gonna just take that right in the center. Now I'm gonna go back in with Amara on the sides of that Helio shimmer. Now I want to add this gray metallic. It is the shade Jude. It is a metallic warm taupe. I'm taking that on my finger as well, focusing that right on the center, just tapping it on. So I do want to do a winged liner, but I'm going to use a pencil instead of like a liquid. I'm going to be using the Epic Wear liner stick from NYX. It is the shade Pitch Black. And I'm using a brush to kind of smooth it out. And I wanted to use the pencil because I want to kind of fade it out with one of the shades in this palette. To do that, I'm going to be using the shade Rebellion, which is a matte medium burgundy cream powder. So I'm taking that on a flat square brush. Now for my inner corner, I'm going to take the shade Glitz. It's this top shimmer. It is a duochrome with cool baby pink and a champagne shift. I'm using a rounded brush, packing that on there. To kind of continue the wing into my inner corner, I'm going to use the shade Groove. This is a matte, medium, dark, warm maroon. And I'm going to be using that same square brush that I was using for the eyeliner. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other side and the rest of my face, and I'll be back to finish up the lower lash line. Okay, so when I did my foundation and concealer, I went ahead and cleaned up underneath the wing. I'm going to take that Rebellion shade, which was that matte cream burgundy, and I'm using the dense smaller end of an Anastasia brush, and I'm starting from the outer corner of my lower lash line and then just blending it into that wing. Now I'm going to take it on the inner portion of my lower lash line. Okay, and in the center section of my lower lash line, I'm going to take the shade Helio, which is the same one that I used first on the center of my lid. I'm going to go back in with Rebellion. This time I'm going to lightly sweep it underneath. Now closer to the waterline, I'm going to take the shade Groove, maroon matte shade. With a small detailing brush, I'm just taking it very closely to the waterline. Now with a small blending brush, I'm going to take the shade Vienna, which is a matte light pink nude cream powder, just to kind of get rid of any harsh edges. Now I do want a little bit more sparkle in the center section, so I'm just taking a little bit of that Glitz shade, which I use for the inner corner, and just lightly tapping it on that center part of my lower lash line. Okay, so before I move on to lashes, I'm going to take some liner in my waterline using that same NYX pencil. I'm just taking a small amount of the Glitz shimmer that I used in my inner corner and just bringing it right underneath that little inner corner wing. For lashes, I'm going to be using the Huda Beauty double-sided mascara along with the House of Lashes Sephora Collection Amethyst lashes. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to my lips. I'm going to be using this lip liner from Huda Beauty. It is the Lip Contour 2.0 in the shade Warm Brown. I kind of want a little bit more color on my lips. I know my eyes are already super dramatic, but I'm just gonna go all out and have like a pretty colorful lip too. I'm gonna use this liquid lipstick from Morphe. It is the shade Nibble. It's this beautiful burgundy shade. But I am going to kind of tone it down just a little bit. I'm going to add a NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in the shade Abu Dhabi. I love adding this one or the shade London to any of my liquid lipsticks that I really want to kind of lighten up just a little bit. And it also gives a really beautiful finish as well. Okay, now I'm going to finish it off with the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. Okay, so this is the finished look using the new retro palette from Natasha Denona. I absolutely love it. I love the color story. I think the eyeshadows performed beautifully. I had no trouble blending whatsoever. Everything had a lot of pigment, even the cream mattes that are like a little bit lighter. And I really love that cream powder formula. I think it just blended beautifully with the other shades and created such a pretty gradient. There is some fallout and some kick up with some of the shimmers, particularly the one that I used in my inner corner, but nothing major, nothing that I can't work with. I'm sure if I used my fingers for that, there wouldn't have been as much fallout. Just kind of digging into it with a brush, it's just so soft, so it kind of broke apart really easily. But I find a lot of times with shadows like that do that, they're really pigmented when they are applied. I love that there is a good range of warm and cool tones. I think it's a beautiful palette to create super dramatic looks or everyday looks. I really want to explore everything that you can create with it. If you follow Natasha Denona on Instagram, I think she and her marketing team do such a beautiful job promoting her palettes because they really show the range that you can get from them. Yes, love it. Love the idea behind it, creating retro inspired looks. I am obsessed with mauve, especially for the fall. I think $65 is worth the investment, especially if you love these colors as much as I do, because I'm going to be getting literally every penny out of this. So 10 out of 10 for this palette. I think Natasha Denona really nailed it with this one. But let me know what you guys think. If you guys are planning on picking this up, if you already have, let me know what your thoughts are. And that is all for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember that you are loved, you are seen, and you are beautiful. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.